Okay. All right, we are live. Just give people time to get on. Good morning, Rachel. Thank you for saying hello. If you are on, say hi. If you're catching the replay, definitely just comment replay so we know you were watching. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Sarah. Super excited for today. So Laura, I'll kind of let you take the lead.
Okay, well, today we're talking about something that a lot of you probably have a little bit dreaded, and also it might be something that stops you from moving forward, which is cold calling, right? Cold calling is when you call a lead that does not know who you are. And it's something, like I said, that stops a lot of investors in their tracks before they even get going, or you're trying to avoid it altogether. So I want to take it back a little bit about when I started in real estate. That was actually one of the trainings that we used to do as agents back 35 years ago. They wanted us to do cold calling. And back then it was about really just going through the Haynes directory, which is a great resource to find property owners plus their phone numbers. And it was basically, we had to choose an area and call one by one. And there was no real script. And this is the interesting thing that we're going to talk about today too, because a lot of you wonders about scripts. So there was no script. It was about establishing connection. It was about really reaching out almost by curiosity to find out what could be done on that property. And I want you to think about that for a second, okay? I'm sure you've seen some of the movies. What is that movie that I mentioned with Jennifer Lopez, Liz, all the time? The one where where she drives by this house and she tells her husband, oh, I love that house. I love that house with the blue shutters. And he stops the car and, they get out of the car, knock on the door and ask the owner if he wanted to sell the house. And he's like, well, the house is not for sale. And the husband, Jennifer Lopez in the movie husband, hands him a check. So, the moral of the story, everything is for sale at the right price, right? So with that said, you should have a little bit of the same curiosity. So once you're out there in the field, when you drive for dollars, or when you come across a list, especially when I have a visual, and this might help you here in the beginning, if you're really new to cold calling, sometimes having a visual of a property, maybe pictures or drawing for dollars, or you see it for sale by owner that is already wanting to sell, or the MLS. Try with something easy, simple, for you to really call up and come from a place of curiosity. Say, I just I came across your house, and I just was wondering if you might be interested in selling. Are you looking to sell in the near future, right? And if they say no, and the house does need quite a bit of work or is vacant, you have nothing to lose at this point to say, I understand, always acknowledge, don't be contrarian, always acknowledge. I understand. May I ask you what you plan to do with the house? You have nothing to lose at this point, right? And so then you start this conversation, connection, right? And then from that on, you can probably turn things around. A lot of time that happens. So with that said, come from a place of not worrying too much about scripts, not worry too much about, being salesy. That's the worst thing you can do, is sound salesy. Come from a place that for women, honestly, comes more natural to really be curious and inquire about something that we're interested in, right? So try a different approach. Which brings me to another point, is before you pick up the phone, really take a moment to really get focused on the task you have at hand, right? One of the things I tell my students is that I want you to sit down every morning and then every evening and kind of write your intentions for the day, what you plan to do, with real estate marketing wise. And then in the evening, okay, what did I do today? What was the outcome? And what did I learn from it? So that tomorrow or whenever next time you do the same thing, you learn from it and you go back and reread the notes, and now you're going to do something different, right? So, because, a lot of time we forget, we might say, oh, shoot, I should not have said that, or I should not have done that, or I should have approached that different. But if we don't write and document it, we're not going to learn from it. So that's the other thing. That's kind of like pre-paving the call. Okay, pre-paving the call. The third thing I want to say is, and this goes more into a little bit of mindset as well, is when you set your expectations before you pick up the phone, when you say, if you're dreading to do cold calling, say, this is exciting, I can't wait to talk to people and see what's going on in those houses that I saw yesterday that needed work. Or I can't wait to really see, how many for sale by owners I can talk to and get to, and I know that by the end of today, I will get to turn around and get some contracts. And really do that and force yourself to really expect and be excited about it. And I learned that from another one that I looked up to when I started my real estate career, that she was sitting down by her desk and she said to me, I will not leave this desk unless I have to go to the bathroom or get something to eat until I have 3 listing appointments, because I know out of 3 listings, I can sure get 1 listing signed up. And she was dealing in higher end properties, and this was in Hawaii. So what we did is I sat with her, and the other interesting thing about her, she definitely had no script. She barely spoke English. She was from India, and she would pick up the phone and say, hi, my name is Abadubi, that was her name, and do you want to sell your house? Straightforward like that. Now I wouldn't do that, right? But because she had a very limited vocabulary. And if she was better, maybe speaking English and having a conversation, she probably would have had even more success. But even with that, she was selling an average 5+ deals a month listings, or multi-million-dollar listings. And so you do the math, what her commission was, right? So with that said, I learned from her the persistence of saying, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to expect to get this many, because I know for a fact that I will get at least 1 listing signed, and so forth. So that was something about setting your expectations, really be determined and persistent. And she always had a smile on her face. So even if people don't see you, smile when you're doing a call, because you transmit this energy on the other side of the wire of the phone, and you might not think it affects people, but your energy will be contagious, okay? And people will feel that. Okay, so to recap here, I give you several pointers, and I hope I remember to repeat them all, but, not to worry about too much script, okay? Come more from a place of curiosity and establishing a connection. And the other thing is be persistent, expect the best results, but give yourself determine that, for example, today, you're not going to put down the phone until you get some type of commitment from somebody. Okay, so that's the persistence, the expectation, the connections, and obviously, and then doing it, right? Do it, but with excitement, not with saying, oh, I'm dreading this. So that's what I want to talk about today. And I know we shared the PDF a couple of days ago, Elizabeth. If somebody wants a little more of a script, we actually have a PDF about that.
I would actually like to also just talk a little bit about the biggest thing, like Laura said, is just being you. When you are nervous, you saw my post earlier this week. If you aren't cold calling, when you have an ability to help someone out of a situation, it's almost selfish, right? So when you come through as thinking, I'm here to help you, I'm here to get you out of this situation. You're not another dollar to me. You're not just another person, a seller to me. You are someone I'm genuinely here to help. That takes the nerves off of you. Come in as a profession. Think of you as a teacher with new students in the class. If you were nervous with these new students sitting there, if you're shaking and you're wondering how this is going to affect you, you're not going to be able to serve your students in the best ability, especially little kids that look up to you, right? Or high schoolers who are entrusting you, and parents, right? They entrust you with this. So turn around and think of this. I'm talking to you. I'm here to help you. And my services are actually going to benefit you because I know how to get you out of this situation. So really come to that. And when you're calling, you can break down rehabs, you can do all this stuff. Any answers you don't know, that's why it's important eventually to have a mentor or somebody you trust. And you can say, I can talk to my business partner for the answers you don't know. But really just make sure that you just take it as if you're talking to one of your friends, but in a professional setting. Connect with them, really take the time to get to know their situation and why they're selling, then go through the different rehabs in the house and majority the big ones. And that's what we cover in the script that we gave you guys this week. If you haven't seen that, go back and find that post to get the script, but really just take that time to care. Do not always stress about how the conversation will go. Do you honestly think I know how every conversation is going to go, even with my experience? No, there are still times I have to be like, let me go ask my business partner and get back to you. My business partner is Laura. So you can go and ask your mentors or people you trust that have some experience in this field to do the same. And so I just wanted to kind of pinpoint what she was saying and really pull out that portion. You're being selfish if you know how to help someone and you're not reaching out to help them. And you're running away from money is the other thing I always tell people. I tell my students when they're like, I'm scared to cold call. I'm like, why are you running away? Like, why are you running away from making money? You can call and make $10,000 off of this one call. Why are you running? Why are you running from doing that? So there's two ways, depending on how you're motivated, because everyone has different personalities to think about this. If you're not making that call, you're running away. I was talking with a student. She had messaged me and she said, Liz, I'm terrified to get on the phone. I am terrified. And then she listed all of these reasons. I don't want to go too deep into it because it's her personal stuff, but she said, I'm terrified. These are the reasons. This is this. So I said, okay, let's think of this from a different point of view. You told me you have to go back to a 9 to 5 if you don't start making these calls and making some money. You're putting all of this pressure on your husband because he has to pay your mentorship, but he also has to carry the family. I said, you have a way to help people and you're not doing it and you have the proper training. I literally listed more, but some were a little more personal than that. And she's like, holy crap, thank you. Like, thank you for putting it in that perspective for me. I was too worried about me and this is what I need to do. And it turns that around and it makes them, which is why it's beneficial to have mentors to understand where you're coming from, but also to give you that harsh love, to be like, why are you doing this? Like, you have all the tools, you have the knowledge, go out there and make it happen. It's always scary when you get started, just like when you start losing weight. You're wondering, am I going to mess up this diet? What am I going to do? You're not thinking of all the benefits of losing weight and what will happen as you lose weight. You are always thinking of how hard this is going to be. And oh my gosh, I have to change all my diet. Trust me, I know. And I have to change my whole entire diet. And I'm just so tired of my clothes being so tight, but it's so much work to get off the couch and do this. Like, this is all stuff I've thought about. Okay. So I know it's there, but then once you get going and you've done a few pounds, you want to keep doing the pounds. You're like, well, screw this. Like, I'm feeling good. I have energy. I'm not screaming at my kids all day. I'm getting off of the couch. I'm able to do all this stuff. I'm mentally doing so much better. Same with real estate. Your confidence grows. I can tell you, and I have had people that have come to events now that came when I was the personal assistant and said that I look night and day. They would not recognize me. They said that your confidence, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk to people is 100% different than who you were in the very beginning. And it took me getting into real estate and pushing myself out of my comfort zone all the time to make these stupid calls in the beginning and to really like deal with all of that. It did it. And you have to do that too. You have to stop making excuses. Start with 5 calls a day. Just that's your goal. I'm going to make 5 calls. Okay. Now I'm going to start doing 10 calls a day. Soon it's going to be 15. And you're going to slowly just start going, but you have to get out of your own way. Now get some basic knowledge on calling. We have a script. If you're in our training, we have way more detailed script. We have Juan training you every freaking Thursday. Actually, he gets on in a couple of hours training our students on how to negotiate with sellers. He is probably the best negotiator I've ever heard in my lifetime in real estate. And I think Laura can agree because hers is much longer. We used to hear him all day. We used to share an office wall. That's actually how we met at a co-working community. And he was calling all day. So we actually heard him doing this. Do that. Yeah, exactly, Rachel. 5 doesn't seem scary, right? When you have a list of 300, you're like, oh my God, I got to call 300. I'm not going to be able to do this. Start with 5. I'm going to call 5 today. Okay, well, those 5 didn't answer, or I got to know, or whatever. Let me call 5 more. And then it's like, oh my God, I talked to somebody. The other thing is handling rejection, and we have to talk a little bit about objections too. Rejection, they're not saying no to you, they're just saying no to your offer. So if they even think it's complete blasphemy what you're offering, it's not like they know particularly who you are. They're not going to point you out on the street. Rejection, we have students that make it a goal. How many no's can I get till a yes? They actually turned it around psychologically. They want the no's because they get so excited when they're a yes, and they're like, oh crap, I got to start my no tally all over again. They made it fun for them to make the calls. Of course, they want the yeses and they go in with the expectation, but they didn't make the no's be so detrimental to them and their mental health, just constantly being rejected. I just say no means new opportunity, next opportunity. It just means that you're going to move into the yeses and follow up with them. No's also may mean not right now. So keep that in mind too, that it just maybe right now they're not ready, but you can call back. So now do we want to handle a little bit of objections, Laura?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
You brought it up. You want to be handled?
Well, I feel like we should bounce back and forth.
Like I said, if they say no to you, like Elizabeth says, it's no to your offer, it's not no to you. They don't know you, right? You're not gonna FaceTime them, so it's not like they're gonna meet you on the street and say, "Oh, she's the one who called me yesterday." So take that in more. Don't internalize that. And now, as far as objections, once you open the door and they're willing to talk to you, and now you start talking to them, you want to find out what their motivation is behind it. Okay. Why are they even consider selling? Right. So with that said, there are going to be questions. Now, it depends a little bit. Objections also go with the culture, what I say, of the area. People in different areas react differently. What do I mean by that? Talk to a New Yorker and talk to a Midwesterner, right? It's just two different ways of how they handle people and how they talk to and what type of rejections you're going to come through. Okay. So one of the things I always say is, especially to new students, when you're going to get into doing the business, either wholesaling, fix and flip, buy and hold, doesn't really matter. Choose the area wisely. Make it easy for you. Make it an area that there is not going to be a lot of resistance, a lot of objections. People right now in this market, people have been expecting more than the asking price. And in some areas, it's still like that. But there are a lot of areas right now, prices are coming down. There's big adjustments. People realize that they're not getting what they want on the property. And so with that said, choose an area wisely. So we do a lot of research in the beginning to help the students determine which are the best area based on their strategy. And then when you approach people, like Liz says, feel like you're doing a favor to them. It would be selfish. Just imagine one of the students said to me, "Oh, I feel like I'm," she wants to wholesale. And she said, "I feel like I'm taking advantage of them." How many of you feel that, right? Then maybe you're taking advantage of them. And I want to put that in the chat box if you do. But I told her, I was like, look, what you're doing is actually better than any real estate agent out there. Real estate agents get paid a commission. They don't do this for free. They don't feel like they take advantage. They feel like they expect they're entitled to that commission, right? And you're much better than that because you actually care, right? You have a conversation with the seller. You want to find out their motivation. So you're willing to help them. So for you to make money in the process and create a win-win situation is so much better than if you're just an agent taking a commission just for the sake of taking a commission. So, you have to shift a little bit your mindset. So then when you approach them, the objections is going to be more about, either they're not really motivated, okay, to sell. There's a difference between if you want to sell or you need to sell, right? The thing is, you want the ones that need to sell, not the one that want to sell. Because I might say, oh yeah, I want to sell my house, for so much more than it's worth. Everybody does, right? I mean, I don't want to sell my house right now, but somebody offer me more than what it's worth, quite substantially more. Oh yeah, I'll sell it. And so, that's the difference than somebody saying, oh, I'm in a situation right now that if I don't sell, I'm gonna lose the house. I'm going to foreclosure. I'm ill and I need to go into, I'm getting the property condemned. I need to move out of state, whatever the case, I mean, need, right? That's the key word we're listening here is need. So once you have somebody that needs to sell instead of want to sell, then the objections are gonna be more about, maybe they want a little more money, maybe they want to stay in the house a little longer, that type of stuff, things that can be worked around. When there's somebody who wants to sell, but they're not really super motivated, they say, oh, I want 500,000 for my house, but the house is worth 250, right? So then they don't need to really sell. So a lot of time, I had a student yesterday telling me a similar story, and I was telling her, you have to separate these people in categories when you talk to them. The ones that do this stuff unrealistic expectation, tell them, can I follow up with you in 4 weeks? And ask it, because I says, right now, they have to come to the realization that the market is not doing what it was doing 3 months ago, 6 months ago. They're not gonna get that for that property moving forward. And actually in 4 weeks, it says, oh my God, I should have taken that offer before it goes even lower, right? And we have situations like that many times. And then people came back and we say, I can't even give you what I offered in the beginning, so we will have to give you even less. And you might want to tell them that too. It says, I follow up in 4 weeks, but I'm not sure what the market's gonna do. And we might have to I might have to come up with a different offer. So that's the thing you do. So, that then you understand if you're fully motivated or not, if you're the wanters or the one that need to sell. Okay. That's all I wanted to say on that.
Awesome. Yes, need versus want is so important. Exactly. Okay, so we are going to open up for a Q&A. This is our Ask Us Anything. We allow 1 question per person. And so
What do we have live?
17.
Okay.
So, we'll allow 1 question per person. Ask your most burning question right now. While I wait for those in. Now, Facebook has a delay. So if you have your question, get it in before we have to jump off and we don't see it. We are going to do our raffle winner. How you get entered into the raffle for those of you that are new, because I see some new names. How you get entered into the raffle is for excuse me, for every comment that you comment on our post throughout the week, you get 1 entry into our raffle. I have my assistants come in and they kind of get all your names and count how many times you have commented. There's just this whole thing to it. But anyway, you get access for 1 entry. And then we do the spinning wheel and we pull one of the names. So the more times you comment, obviously the best success you have, the more opportunity for success. And this is just to promote engagement and community and make this fun for you guys in the group. And so we did that. This week we are raffling a $25 Amazon gift card. We haven't done that in a while. I thought we did it recently, but my assistant's like, no, it's been a while. So we are going to do that. So let me get her name real quick. So what you have to do to claim this is you have to email in. I'll put the email in here. questions@realestateinvestingwomen.com. Let me type it out. And just tell us that you had won this gift card, the date that you had won it, and then also your Amazon email so that we can send it to you via Amazon. This winner is Jennifer Pigram, I want to say is your name. I hope I didn't mess that up. Jennifer Pigram, congratulations. You are the winner of this week's raffle. Thank you so much for participating throughout the week. And you're the winner. So congratulations. All right. You ready, Lord? Q&A?
Yes.
Okay. So Rachel's asking us, someone who is new to real estate, once you start picking up the phone and make calls, if you get someone interested in speaking further, how you can help, what do you do if you don't have an end buyer already? Okay, so we actually teach a lot of our students to go out there and talk to sellers without end buyers in place. You have a contingency period. In our contracts, you have a contingency period that you can back out if need be. Now, we don't recommend that. Honestly, I've backed out of 2 contracts, I think, maybe 3 my entire career, because I will go back and renegotiate. And that's why it's really important you have that connection with sellers. But to your question, if you have it priced right, you will have no issue finding a buyer. I will repeat that again. If you get it priced right, you have no issue finding a buyer. We have a 10-step process that we provide to our students. Now, I do give them out on the webinars, guys, the top 3, and it's foolproof. I mean, I haven't had students, very many, Laura, we haven't had very many that actually had to back out. And usually it's because they cannot get it low enough. It always comes down to the price of the home, and the seller will not renegotiate lower. But really it's really that you can find buyers. Buyers are everywhere. They're looking for deals. I get contacted daily. Hey, do you have any deals in this area? Even areas that I've never said I've invested in. You know, they're looking for these properties, but you have to get it priced right. So that is the most crucial thing. That's why it's important to know how to talk to a seller when you're reaching out, to really have a connection with them, to be able to negotiate down if they need to, if you know they're asking for too much, stuff like that. Laura, would you like to say anything else?
No, you handled great.
No, thanks. Okay, Sarah says, I would love to know what you say to yourselves when you get cold call and you get super negative response. What do you say to yourself to keep going? Okay, so I want to tell you, I started cold calling for someone else and they were New Yorkers. I apologize if New Yorkers, but they were rude as hell. They were mean, they were spiteful, you get cussed out. You still do in some other areas, by the way. The biggest thing here is to not take it personal. Us as women, we internalize and take everything personal. We put so much emotion into everything we do. With real estate, I can tell you every single wholesaler that's successful, every single coach will tell you, take the emotion out of this business. You have to not get wrapped up in what everyone says to you. And you just have to say they're having a bad day. And honestly, whenever they're like that, I literally just say, have a great day, have a blessed day, you know, move on and let it go. It has nothing to do with you. And when you get to the point where you can take the emotion out and not stress about what they're saying. I mean, I've gotten voicemails where they are cussing me out left, right. How'd you get my number? I'm reporting you. All of this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm not going to call that person back anytime soon. And you just leave it at that. You have to make this fun, and you have to not be so emotionally involved to where it affects everything about you and all your daily life and your mental health. You have to be able to separate it. Just for now, you guys have to get going and doing deals. Once you've done deals, hire someone else to deal with that. And you don't have to deal with it ever again, like me and Laura. We don't make cold calls anymore. We train our team, we watch over them, we make sure that we stay up to date with where they're at and what's working, but they do the calls. But in the beginning, you just have to just tell yourself that this has nothing to do with you. Half of the time, they don't even know who you are. You may even be the 10th investor to reach out to them in that given week or day. And so it's really, don't take anything personal in this business. Just take the emotion out. When you can take the emotion out, you'll handle this much better. Laura?
I can go. You don't need me here.
No. Okay. Any other questions? Well, you got us. Now's the time, guys. Now's the time. In the meantime, do you want to talk about working with us
Yes.
while we wait for you?
Yeah, so this is actually a very good timing, because first of all, in 2 weeks, just 2 more weeks, we are having the retreat. It's the last one this year, and is October 1st and 2nd, Saturday and Sunday, in Fort Lauderdale, just by the airport. We are almost sold out. Actually, we were sold out. We extended a few more, but that's it. We cannot even accommodate anymore safely, you know, in the room, and leaving enough room for everybody. So with that said, we have a handful, I think, honestly, 5 or 6 spots left.
Yeah, we just sold a couple yesterday alone. It was weird. They just randomly came in. So we're definitely almost sold out.
So if you are interested, Liz is going to post a link here in the chat. We have one of the tickets is sold out, the one with the bus tour. We have, I think, how many spots for the VIP? Like 3?
Three VIP, and then the rest are general. So there's not much.
In general, I think there's only a handful too, right? Yeah, because we're all fitting in the same room. So
Yes.
with that said, she will post a link. If you go to the page, scroll to the middle of the page to see what the itinerary is for the 3 days, what we're gonna talk about. We have done these retreats several years, so we're not newbies at this. We actually have done these retreats for several years. We went virtual for a couple of years during COVID, but now we're back in person and we love them. There is so much interactions. We do implementation, we break up in different groups doing work. You get to know and meet other people. Most of the people attending these retreats are nationwide, they're not from Florida, okay?
Yeah, weirdly enough, we have like 5, maybe 6, 7 that
Yeah.
are just
So
Florida.
we're only like maybe 10% of everyone in the room is from Florida. Everybody else is from all over the country. So it's a great way, an opportunity to meet people, network, and also form a, maybe find somebody that is so important having a community of like-minded people. So that's one of the announcements. So like I said, probably will not be talking anymore after next week because once we're sold out, usually weekends are a big surge for us in ticket sales and they will close the retreat. Last time this year, like I said, we'll be into next year before we gonna think about hosting another one. That's one thing. The second thing is if you can't come to the retreat or you want to really talk to us about how you can be part of the this amazing community of women that are taking it a step further, meaning they need help and support, then Elizabeth is going to post a link for you to schedule a call with us. Now, I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, this call is about coaching. It's not training. We actually have one of our team members. She'll be on the phone with you and she'll ask you about what your dreams are, what your goals are, what you feel your challenges are, and see if we can help you, okay? We don't take everybody as part of this community. We are looking for certain type of women that are coachable, women that are value to be in the community, women that value communication with the coaches and everybody else. So we're looking for specific type of people to be part of this because, we want to keep this vibe. And everybody in our team is so successful. We want to raise all the women. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner, you know nothing about real estate whatsoever. You're going to be in good company because we also break up in room. As you start doing deals, then you move into the more advanced level, but you're going to be in the same room with women that have done deals and are knowledgeable and beginners. But then we do training separate too, so you don't feel everything is going over your head if you're a beginner. And if you're more experienced, we have a place for you too with women that already are doing deals. So we love this community. I think we know everybody personally, and we would love to see how we can help you excel. So go ahead and book a call about that. Now, I want to say another thing also. Tomorrow, the way we work with the program, and Rachel, our team member, she will explain to you when you get on the call. But tomorrow we're starting we have a kickoff call. So the way this works, once you join in, we have a kickoff call. It's a 2-hour call where we explain to you how the training works in detail. Also, we give you a game plan, what you need to do. So right now, because we have the retreat in 2 weeks, doesn't matter if you're coming to the retreat or not, to have a game plan. If you come to the retreat, great. We can find a game plan in person. If not, then you have 6 weeks until we do the next intensive, which will be in November, a 1-day intensive. That's not a retreat. It's just a 1-day intensive that we do via Zoom about really refining your goals and your game plan. But with that said, tomorrow is the last kickoff call that we will do until probably later next month. So if you're looking to get going with real estate, and also if you're looking to really, get some money, get some deals done, the holidays are coming, right? So you want to have this amazing holiday season and decorate and buy gifts and still have money to spare. This is the time to do it, and also because real estate is changing right now, you want to position yourself to be ready to catch this situation that's going to happen. When there are these wrinkles in the system, when there are these changes, this is where you make more money as an investor. Investing in stocks, investing in real estate, you always want to catch when things are kind of on the downswing, not when they're up. Everybody wants to buy when they're up, right? But when you buy when things are down, right? Because this is where you're going to make most money. This is where you create new opportunities, new way of doing things. And this is where the competition goes away. And honestly, I can tell you in 30 plus years in the business, I've made more money when the economy actually went down. When we had a housing crisis 15 years ago and everybody was scattered, they want to do real estate, and I started jumping into pre-foreclosures and short sales. I made more money than I made in the previous years, and I was doing very well before then. So with that said, this is the opportunity we're going to open up. We're going to see new things. I don't want to scare you, but we're not having a housing crisis like we had 15 years ago. I honestly don't, but I know we are going to see real estate with different eyes next year, and there are going to be great new opportunities for everybody. That's what I love about real estate investing. It's not the traditional side of real estate. Real estate investors and investors, you have to look at things a little differently, and that's where you make the money, by reinventing yourself. So do schedule a call with us so we can see how we can help you jump on board. And also if you're interested in the retreat. Now, I want to say, if you do become a student, if you schedule a call and become a student, then your retreat will be free. Okay. And if you cannot make it to the retreat, then you're going to get some rain check for the next one that will be next year. That's all I wanted to say.
Great. No, so we had another question come in while you were talking. This one's from Carrie. Wholesaling, flipping contract question. If your end buyer is a wholesaler themselves, like we buy homes for cash, wouldn't they know that you're getting the house under contract to less than you're offering it to them for? Would they go around you to the seller to make themselves to sell to the seller themselves and try to make a better offer?
Well, first of all, you want to make sure you have the property under contract before you go market it out there, right? And then the other thing I said, the old quote, it says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So when you come across another wholesaler, you don't wholesale to them. You want to co-wholesale with them. So say to them, I tell you what, I see that you're a wholesaler. Let's JV on this one. I have the property. You help me find the buyers, and we split 50-50. So get an agreement, sign a co-wholesaling joint venture agreement, and then you're fine. But you have the contract on the property, so you have control of the deal.
Yeah. How much info should you give them about the property without a contract or confirmation that they are a serious buyer? It really just depends. Like you said, if you have it under contract with your seller, it doesn't matter what information you give out. Now, when I market a property, I never put the address on there unless it's on a site that requires that specific address. I can't give all the tips just if you be fair to my students, but I can say that I market without the address and make sure that the buyer comes to me. And then we go through a series of questions and stuff where I vet them to make sure they are serious buyers. I have a list of 6 questions that I give to my buyers that they have in order for me to vet them. But yeah, like in our training, we do show the 10-step process to getting any deal sold, what to say to buyers, how to vet them to make sure they're serious, and all of that. And it does cover all of that. Okay. All right. Well, that was the last of the questions. Yes, Laura, I'm so excited to see you tomorrow on the kickoff call as well. If you guys are interested in more, I did post the link above right here. I'm going to pin it so that you can schedule a call and talk with us. It's a really good call. You'll get at least some clarity on where you want to go and be able to learn how it is to work with Laura and myself personally. I know a lot of you that are on, if you want to comment, if you're coming to the retreat, definitely comment. A lot of the women in here are coming to the retreat, a lot of them. And so you'll get to meet a lot of us here. Laura and I are there. We have a networking hour the Friday night before. If you're wondering what we're covering, check the landing page, scroll down a little bit. There's a whole schedule of when everything is, but you get to actually meet with us. We actually sit down with you guys. We get to know all of you, all of it. It's a phenomenal retreat. We will have Dawn there. She owns over 50 rentals. A lot of them are Airbnb. We're going to have Juan, our master negotiator, there. He's going to be there. I know a lot of the students are super excited to get to meet the coaches in person. You'll see it's a very different feel. You're not just a number to us in our program or at an event. We actually do get to know you. We'll know you by name and all of that. So it's phenomenal. So yeah, see, we got a few people coming. So keep up with everything. Laura, you want to say anything?
I want to say one thing. I was checking the link for people to schedule calls. We have no spots available until Monday.
We're fully booked. Yeah,
booked.
we're full. I went in. We are fully booked.
So if for some of you is really crucial that you want to jump into the kickoff call tomorrow, now it's going to be recorded, so you can access it, later on. But if you want to be live on the kickoff call, go ahead and message who.
You can message me on Facebook. There is no cost for the call. but this is to talk about the program. This
Right.
is to talk about joining with us, and obviously there is a cost to join the program. So there is an investment to join, but there is no cost for the call. If you are wanting to be before the kickoff call tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, then reach out to me on Facebook and we will see if we can squeeze you in somewhere before then, but only if you're really, really serious, as we are fully booked and on calls all day. So it would be really, we want serious people that really want to join, because that kickoff call is going to be phenomenal. We just completely revamped it.
Right. And I want to say one thing, for anybody here about talking specifically about coaching. The thing is, think of this, and people say, we give you a lot of free training here on this group. Honestly, we give you a lot. At the end of the day, when you start doing deals, you're going to have a lot of questions. Okay. We can't answer those questions here, to be fair to the group that really is in our community of students. So that's where people need help, because you can get a lot of free information online. I understand there is a ton of podcasts and everything else about real estate. First of all, you don't know what is really working and true. Number one. Number two, now what? You have questions. Once you start doing the first deal, trust me, all of a sudden everything goes blank and you need to ask somebody. And who do you ask, right? So that's why, having a mentor that can really help you to navigate the first few deals is crucial. I can tell you right now, I had no mentor when I started back in 1987. It took me 8 years to get to the point where I felt safe that I could do this on my own full time. I spent a lot of money in attorneys. I was asking different people, different things, and trying to piece out the information. It was a touch and go for several years. I was doing some things right, some things wrong. Go back to square one, decided I hated real estate several times. I never wanted to do this again, and then went back. So it took me 8 years. The opportunity cost of you losing 8 years of income from real estate is, I'm not kidding, is in the millions. Okay. Even if you made only $100,000 a year from real estate, which is basic, you will lose over $1 million, right? If you didn't do that money. So with that said, probably 800,000 to 900,000, but close to $1 million. So don't let the investment into any type of training. Now, the other thing I say, is look at this as an investment, not a cost. Okay, that's the other thing you have to see. Cost to me is to go buy a car or clothes or anything that's not an investment. To me, buying houses, real estate. To me, paying into somebody helping me to really understand so I can expedite and grow my business, that's an investment, right? If somebody said to me, okay, you give this investment today and within the next 6 months, you get this investment back 10, 20 times over, it would be a no-brainer. I mean, I would say, actually, can I pay more and get more back? Because, if you tell me I can get this investment, get 10, 20 times over, doesn't mean that, I pay more, but no. The knowledge you get from doing this and the help you that we get is with you forever. We don't have any upsell. We are not going to tell you, oh yeah, buy into this. But if you want, we don't do that.
No.
We give you everything that we need and much more. The reason is that we ask that there is an investment, a little bit investment. All of you can afford it here. If you really want to, right? That's it. Is this something you want? And when you go and fill out the form to get on a call with us, there will be a box at the bottom. You have to check mark for one of those 4 boxes. Very important, because at the end of the day, do you really want to do this? Because then you will do it and you will commit yourself and you're going to make sure you get your investment back many times over. I know I would. So it comes down to look at things differently. And so that you can really jump into this and understand that this is an investment, not a cost. And the reason that we ask you to for this investment, we give you a lot of free training here. But when we start working with you more on a close level, the reason we ask, because you have a commitment as much as we are committed for you to succeed in breaking into the business. We take that full commitment to help you, but it has to be a two-way street. We have done things in the past where people were paying a little bit upfront and then half when they did deals and stuff like that. that doesn't work. So when people come to us and ask us about doing that, we don't do it because honestly, it's not going to serve you. If you don't have a full commitment into doing it, says, I'm going to get this money back 10 times over, you're not going to take this as serious and you're going to waste your time and our time. So that's why it's an investment to make sure you are committed, right? For the same reason when you buy real estate, you're going to put earnest money down because the people want to know that you have a commitment to buy that piece of property. That's the same thing we do here. So
Yep.
look at it that way. So I just wanted to add a little bit to that because I feel like, telling people, oh yeah, sign up for coaching or sign up for a call, but there is a lot more that goes into that. And the opportunity cost of you to sit where you are right now, you're going to lose well over 6 figures in the next year. I can guarantee you that.
Well, we have a few of our students in now saying, I love my mentors. I'm excited to get deals. Ladies, this mentorship is unbelievable. Laura and Liz give you so much info already for free. Imagine how much more you will learn when you join. They both mean and do what they say. We did not pay them to be here. Actually, I'm almost I wasn't expecting that. We did not pay for them to say that. We don't ever encourage our students to hype us up, but that was very sweet. I'm getting all red. Yes. She said, thank you for flipping those words, cost first investment. It's all a mindset. We pay our coach. We are with 7-figure coaches. We work with coaches all around the world that are making 7 figures and up. You don't understand the magic of getting in a room with people that are doing what you're doing at such a high level, just amazing, the brilliance of sitting there. And we pay $2,500 a month, and we've been doing it gladly for 1.5 years because to get in there and listen, every call, there's a golden nugget that's shared, every call. Also, if you're a student, you get to go into a different room during the retreat because you're already getting access to the training. So at the retreat, you get to go into a different room and be able to work, a little more with some of the coaches. Obviously, some of us stay in the general admission because we give out good info on both, but you have access to the training. So you're actually doing stuff. Yeah, wait till you meet Juan. Exactly. So you're working with these heavy hitter real estate investors. You have Dawn, you have Jimmy and Patricia. They make on average $20,000 to $40,000 a wholesale deal, and they do multiple a month. And then of course me and Laura, but you know our statistics. And you get to work with these people. You get to meet with Juan. I mean, he made $110,000 on a deal in California, just wholesaling it. So you get to meet with these amazing people and you get to learn from them. And then there are the people that are in the audience that are doing deals. And then you're networking and you're meeting people in your area. The last one, people left with friendships and they still talk to this day. They have accountability partners. They have all these things, these people. And so you're not just buying for the training, you're really buying to be and learning from some of the best, and to also be able to network with some of the best and get to mastermind and be with people that have the same similar goal as you, which is making it and being financially free with real estate.
Yeah. And
All right.
I want to apologize everybody that we're going this, but we're so passionate about this.
It's just been a good 10 minutes of our excitement.
We love the community, and we do these retreats, and one of the retreats we want to do is from Italy. For the ones you don't know, we actually would like to have a retreat in Italy. How many of you would love to go to Italy for a retreat? Maybe rent one of those villas in Tuscany, right? And anybody watch the movie Under the Tuscan Sun? Yes, the men are that hot over there. But anyway,
I'm excited. We leave for Italy in 2 days. You can guarantee I'm going to be finding me an Italian.
yeah, I told I have 2 cousins and they are in the 30-some age group. And so I'm going to talk to them and say, hey, do you have a single friend for Liz? Because she's giving up on America. She's I'm going overseas. But anyway, but the thing is, it's like I would love to have a retreat in Italy. How many here would love to go?
Oh, they're commenting. They're all saying yes, heart emojis, yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, why don't we plan something for next year? And we do something.
See if you guys do deals. You don't have to stress about affording this. This is going to be like the ultimate luxury retreat we do.
And by the way, I have a friend in Italy that I'm going to meet. She's a very renowned architect over there. And she actually messaged me. We're going to meet with her. She has investors that want to invest in the United States. So we actually have our buyer list in Italy of people. So we're going to meet with her and create this exchange where, you know, you can have investors that want to invest in Italy, but we have Italian investors, they want to put their money here, not in Italy, because they trust things over here more. So that would be exciting too. So we can do a network of investors from Italy.
Kelly said, get yourself an Italian stallion. I'm finding,
Yeah.
don't worry, I'm gonna find my own like little mafia boss or something over there. Don't worry, he won't be basic.
Well, they dress sharp. I have to give you, those mafia guys dress
I
sharp.
actually, I live in t-shirts, guys. I live in like t-shirts and workout clothes. I only dress up for the lives.
You'll
But
have
today
to
I was like,
change that.
yeah, today was like, screw it. But Italy, my outfits are on point. I had my sister who's here help me pick out all my outfits. Okay, we're getting way off topic. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. We are still working in Italy, so do not stress. We still plan to work. We're actually 6 hours ahead, so you might see times being a little off. But my assistants will come in and help you guys with the PDFs. Do not worry about it. Everything's going to still run business as normal, but you might see some fun backgrounds on the lives and videos. I might post a little more so that you guys can see, because it's not to brag, it's for you guys to see that real estate can make this kind of stuff happen for you as well. And some of you have traveled and you know how wonderful it is to go and experience different cultures and totally different landscapes. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thanks everybody. It was a long meeting today, but you know, we had fun with this, and I hope to see you either online or at the retreat.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We're super excited. Don't forget about that kickoff call. Definitely PM me if you're trying to get on a call sooner, and we can fill that out as well. And we'll talk soon. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Okay, take care. Bye.